Om. साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शांति शांति शांति। Sai Ram. Once again, we are back this month, gathered for the Sai Govind Satsangh. Our humble pranams at Swami's lotus feet for giving us this opportunity. Yet again, another beautiful day. So today we have with us Brother Chandrasekar, who has been into Swami's fold, I would say, almost from his birth, with his family being involved as early as 1960s. And what more can we ask for from Swami? We all learned ABCDs, but his Aksharabhyasam itself was done by Swami. So Swami came into his life so early and then followed up with the Balvikas and then his upanayanam. And so he went on to do his PUC in Swami's college. And then after that, continued to serve Swami's mission in the area of music. And now we were just talking that even after music, now he's gone into the areas of Swami's messages and things like that. So it's a life dedicated to Swami's mission. And there would have been so many learnings. And as always, we are very eager to listen and learn and try to practice at least few of them, if not all of them. So thank you so much, Brother Chandrasekar, for accepting our request at a very short notice. And it's, as I told, it's a very informal family here. So we are very eager and pray to Swami to speak through you to all of us today. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Well, salutations to Swami. Thanks to you all to help me rewind a lot of things that have happened by Swami's grace in my life and also in others' life where I had been a witness. Hope you're able to hear me, right? Please let me know if there's any problem.
Very clear.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. So, in a way, as you mentioned rightly at the end, by introducing, moved on to other area of message. In fact, there's one area which is very dear to me for two reasons. One is Swami, in his early days, used to mention, my life is my message. And later on, he said, your life is my message. So the difference between my life and my message and your life and my message, that is very, very important because it shows us how important we are in Swami's mission. And one thing that comes to my mind right now is one important area that Swami touched during a different occasion. This was my wedding. Swami performed for one of our brothers, Devanathan, in the group, a senior-most member, a kind of founding member in the group. That time, he says, it's a divine plan. Everything is divine plan and you won't understand what it is, but you're all part of it. Like that, he was mentioning in a different context, but that is very, very important because if at all we are here, and I'll explain to you in my own experience, how Swami is guided and made me still a part of his mission in some way or the other. So that is a very, very important thing for me. And I'm so happy that I'm doing that. And one more thing in that is also related to one incident in my life. You know, in 1979, when I joined the Brindavan College, at that time, there's a practice that Swami used to call the students individually for sessions, like breakfast time, lunch, or dinner. The new students, the new entrants of the campus. And I had the opportunity to have lunch with Swami, just Swami and myself, having lunch in Swami's dining area. And that time Swami is talking to me about first life, family, things like that. But one thing that I asked out of the blue was whether I can understand Telugu. It was not, because I am basically from a Tamil family. Both my father and mother are basically from Tanjore side, so they're basically Tamils only. But Swami asked me, do you understand Telugu? I said, koncham, koncham, I can understand little here and there, some words, some things like that, and I can just configure a meaning like, how? I said, I studied in the school up to 10th standard, where we also had students from Telugu medium. So every day during assembly sessions, we had announcements in English, Tamil, and Telugu. So because of it, I had acquaintance with Telugu language for 10 years. So, and because my friendship here and there also, some words I can understand a bit and gather some meaning from that. Then Swami said, next question is very important, relevant to what I'm talking now. Can you understand when I give discourses? I said, same way. I said, little, I can understand here and there. And from sometimes, you know, Swami uses the English word and also the translation. So I said, I can understand here and there a little bit. And koncham porum. Enough if you understand little. You know, this happened in 79. And the discourse part for Thought for the Day started in Sundaram about 2012 or so. Prior to that, I think you would have known, after Bhajan, we'll have one doctor, oncologist, who is to write the Thought for the Day message from some book, from some Summer Showers or from Satyam Sundaram or something like that, and take a paragraph, read it in English and also in Tamil. He'll translate it in Tamil and read. We're doing that. 2010 or 11 or so, I think, the then state president, Mr. Ramani, asked me, Chandru, you are reading Thought for the Day from Swami's book. Why can't you take it directly from Swami's discourse and play from there? Said, it's a good idea, but I don't think I can do it because two things. One thing is I must understand Telugu because we have to be fast in editing because sometimes Swami overlaps the English also. So we must understand what Swami says in Telugu so that we can understand meaning. And also we'll have to understand so that we can correctly edit it because it should not go to the next point. It should edit it at the same time where one point is ending, for which we require to know the Telugu. At the time, I did not remember what Swami spoke, but then I just said this problem. And the second thing is editing, which requires software. And you know, his son, Shavanam, he is in the editing field, the audio field. So he said, why don't you take his help and do it? But he is very busy. And one thing is, if I had to do it, I will have to select the clip and ask him to do the editing because he can't sit and listen and do it. He doesn't have the time. So I was actually taking time. At one point of time, he was upset. He said, Chandra, what? You're not willing to do what I said, he said. Then I said, okay, let me try because of that pressure. No? But first day, when he sat with one discourse and heard Swami talk and got some feel of the meaning, that is when I realized what Swami said in 1979. Suddenly that remembrance came. That look, Swami told me like this and I'm able to understand. He asked me whether I can understand what he says in Telugu, his discourse. That, I forgot completely because after that, Swami did not talk to me about it and neither I had a chance to talk about it to anyone else. So I completely forgot. But suddenly, when I started listening to Swami's discourse intently for the sake of editing, that is when I realized that I could understand. And because of which, I have taken it after my tabla, I've taken this more passionately. But every time, every week when I sit and do this, I remember that. So I'm able to connect that, because of which I don't want to lose it. Right now, actually, even now, radios have also started giving snippets like the small bits of the like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I used to do for even for 30 seconds, 20 seconds, or 2 minutes like that, not beyond 2 minutes. But even after radios have done this now, I take my videos only for radio side, but do the editing according to our taste. So in fact, some people ask me why, since radio side we can play it like that. But I don't want to lose this option because of my experience with Swami. So that's one thing. But anyway, so I'm happy that you suddenly you all thought of having a talk with me, because more than me telling something to you, it is actually helping me to remind myself of what Swami expects from us and what Swami has told. Because every time, in fact, I spoke in your brothers, the Chinnanaga Samiti, just a month back, and week before that, I spoke in Brindavan. So every time, it's actually kind of like a school going boy when he goes back to school, like that, no? And our understanding of what happened gives a new dimension to that happening. So in that way, I'm really thankful to all of you. And if you have anything, we can always have it at the end. Of course, we'll have it with respect to bhajans. In fact, even in Brindavan, they're asking one person was arguing with that. That we'll talk later. Now, in this segment, in this particular thing, what I want to do is, I want to highlight certain things where Swami teaches us
Why are you
something.
getting this with?
Pardon?
It was a mistake. You continue.
Fine, yeah. Now, Swami teaches us something directly by his words, like saying by his instructions or command. Sometimes he teaches through his actions. Sometimes he makes us witness to what he does to others. These are the ways he tries to teach us. When I talk of his teaching, I'm not talking of the philosophy. Though I'm a philosophy teacher, one thing before going on to all these things, I'm going to tell you, if I'm exceeding my limit, please stop me, because as a teacher, when I have audience, I'll forget myself and talk. So if you have, because you may have time constraint, please remind me about that. So that's why I'm having my points, so I don't want to transgress and just deviate. So I'll do like that. But still, if there's anything, please let me know. One reading, something like this. Like, for example, Swami has told our organization that nobody in the organization should indulge in money transaction at the personal level. And that, is very, very important. Is told for our members of the organization. Here, just before my father's, he mentioned one particular incident that happened to him long back. At that time, there was only the bus facility to Kadugudi from Whitefield. There was only one bus or something like that from Bangalore city there. And the last day they were there, my father and mother were there for a week and all. And last day when my father was going there for darshan, he got down in the bus stop, bus left, and he came inside the Brindavan ashram. That's when he found that his purse has been picked. Somebody has taken the purse from his pocket. He had no money left with him. And both father and mother have to come back to Chennai that evening. He didn't have money. He was not also interested in asking somebody, because Swami is told like that. Now see how Swami helped him at that time. Swami came for darshan. My father was standing outside. That time the Sairam shed in Brindavan, the round shed. No? Father standing outside the shed. His thought was on the money and how to get back. So he was dilly-dallying like that. And he had a lot of Sevadal's known persons in Brindavan. Because since my father was there for a long time, he had a lot of people. And he was standing next to another person whom he knew very well. But father didn't want to ask. Just standing there, Swami came. Swami, I believe he stood in front of my father, looked at my father, then turned his eyes towards the Sevadal who was standing next to him. Twice or thrice he has done that. But he has not opened his mouth. Just staring at both of them for a few seconds and then lit. That The other Sevadal did not know what. So he has asked, sir, what is the Swami has stood before us, both of us, and staring at both of us, but not uttering a single word. Then father said, so maybe because of this, I lost my purse. I have no money to go back to Chennai, not even to Bangalore. No money to go to Bangalore also now. So I don't know what to do. So I was in a dilemma. But I did not know how to ask Swami because it's very petty thing to ask Swami. So I did not know what to ask. So I was just keeping quiet. So that is when he was looking at me and you both. Then that Sevadal said, what brother, you could ask me, I would have given, and he has paid the money for him to come back to Chennai. This Swami did without telling, because if he has told, he could have told, look, this man has lost his money, kindly give the money. He could have told that. But again, he'll be going back on his words that no money transactions. This yes, and made both of them understand like that. And one more thing is, my father, when he was the Sevadal convenor here, one visit Swami had come, and there was the first Sevadal conference, the first some conference at Chennai, first conference. Swami had brought Sri Kasturi along with him for translation. But previous night, Swami has told the then State President Sri Raininga that nobody should be allowed inside the auditorium without badge. Whoever comes for the discourse should have a people without badge should not be allowed. This is what Swami is told. And Mr. Reininger, being a military man, he follows to the court. So he came and told his father, look, Swami is told like this, it's your duty not to allow anybody inside the hall without badge. Now that Abbotsbury, you have two halls. One is the dining hall, one is the marriage hall. It's a basically marriage hall. Marriage hall, so that hall when the Swami will stand and give discourse, or we'll have a bhajans. On the other hand, Swami might have the devotee sitting there, or sometimes Swami should have lunch with the Sevadals, with the organization and all. So father standing, Swami had, before Swami came, people were coming in, and my father saw Sri Kasturi Garu coming without badge. He knows that Kasturi sir had come for the discourse translation, but the instruction given to him is not to allow anybody without badge. So he politely told Kasturi, this was his instruction, please sir, kindly pardon me, like that he is saying. But Kasturi also did not say anything, he just stood back, just stood like that. After some time, Swami had come. While passing through Kasturi, he had looked at him, Pavam, you have been stopped, right? But he did not ask anything to my father. He just told this to Sri Kasturi and went inside. And you know what? That's management. See, Swami is the main person there, for whom everybody is there. He could have changed the rule for the one person, but Swami didn't. He went inside, called the state president to whom he had given the instruction. Called him, look, I told you like this, but Kasturi is standing there outside, just allow him. Because it's come for transition. That planning. Now we talk of so many plannings and management things and all. Look at the way Swami managed the situation. He could have told, he did not tell anything to father because father has done his duty, that's all. He was told something here, though he knew why Kasturi sir was there, he did that because his state president, his master has told him. And state president did because his master, God has told. So that's it. But see how Swami did that. So this is some teachings. Forget about the philosophy. In fact, though I'm a philosophy student, I always take some of these instances from Swami. And one more thing, he used to say, my life is my message. That, he showed us quite a few teachings, whether with the group or in personal, because my interaction now with you all will be from my personal side and from the Sundaram Bhajan Group side. So this particular talk, my message is my life is my message. He has taught us in his personal life, I mean in our personal life, and also with the spirit group. For example, during my upanayanam, it was done in Swami's interview room. Only my family people. My sister was married at that time. Two brothers were not married at that time. So three of us, my father, mother, sister's husband, sister's two sons. That's all. Plus, there were 3 people from Singapore, actually. They're Singapore citizens, I think. They had come for Swami Darshan. They were called for interview. That's all. Then there were about 8 Bhajan group members of Swami. That's all, in that interview. And as soon as Swami saw us, said, it is a small room. I think you might have seen that Swami interview. It's a small room where only about 10 to 15 people can sit. So we are already full like that. So I said, I think it's a bit stuffy, right? I think it will require fan. So somebody from our group, we got up to switch on the fan. So Swami said, hey, sit down. You are not supposed to switch on the fan. You are all my guests. I'm your host. So I should only do, he said, and made us sit down, and he walked to that switch and switched the fan on. Look at the way Swami taught us. Which means that he mentioned the words, you are my guest, I am your host. So that teaches us how Swami expects us to be, whether it's Sundaram or at home. This is one thing. Or even, in other words, with the group also is told the same thing. And on occasions like that. So now, as Satya mentioned about my entry into the, we'll start from there. This is some of the things that learned, I thought I can tell you. In fact, there's one more thing which I'll come to later also. I learning, which don't happen to me, but it happened to somebody for which I was a witness. That I'll come to later. My father had come to know Swami in 1964, 65, like that. And 65, one day he came to the fold and became an active man. That time there was no Sevadal. So she was an active member who were doing some Seva activities at that time. And since then, he has been coming regularly. My father used to come, and I was born in 1964. So I used to, when I was 5 years, 6 years and all, I used to go with my father when he goes for some meeting or for something or some other work. I used to go and play with some other kids there. Because other people also would have brought the kids are playing there, and they'll have the meeting. And thing. In fact, 1978 when the Sundaram was built, 77 it was built, 77, 78 it was inaugurated, the old Sundaram. At that time, I still remember, prior to the remember, but at that 78, I remember, we used to go there, there's a fountain in front of the Shirdi Mandir. So we, myself and the one person, I think it's Ishwar's son, we'll all be playing there, and they'll all be having meeting inside, we'll be playing outside. So that's how I came into the organization with Swami, and interest in early 70s or something. Swami performed Aksharabhyasam in the sense when it that time Swami used to come to a place in Alapet in Chennai, Dr. Mr. Venkatamani's house, father of Mr. Ishwar and Pravi. So that's where Swami used to come and stay, and we used to have darshan there. And since my father is a Sevadal, I was made to stand alone. I was not, both my father and mother were first Sevadal. So as Sevadal, no, that time, no, they can't approach Swami with a scarf for some person. So they'll be there only for the duty. So I was left alone with the slate. So I had the slate in my hand, and when Swami came, I just showed the slate. Swami took it and held my hand and wrote Om in the slate for me. So that's the first interaction that I had with Swami. And later on, of course, I said, the Balvikas and all. So Balvikas, I did attend the Swami's 50th birthday in Prashanthi name, where the first time Swami came in helicopter. We were there. We did the rally and all in front of Swami, and that was the only thing. We used to, after that, we were made to sit in Purnasundara Hall, and Swami gave us food and all. But 79, I joined the Brindavan College. At the institute was, university was not there. So it was the College of Literature, Karnataka in Bangalore University. I joined there. And prior to that, in fact, 1972, my sister was chosen to attend the first ever summer course. I think Satya's brother Shivaramakrishnan also attended that time. He mentioned it only last month when I was talking to them. So that before that, I didn't know. Shivaramakrishnan and myself were there in the Bhajan group. That we did not talk about it at that time. But when I was mentioning about this, only he also reminded that he too was part of the first summer course. So that time, sister attended the first summer course, then my elder brother in 73, then my other brother, the Supreme Court judge now, he also attended there. And Swami performed Upanayam for both my brothers in 1973. Since then, I too had the vision that Swami should perform my Upanayam also. I had this prayer, and but there was no occasion to ask, and days were going by. And 17, I got this opportunity to join Brindavan. 1980, my parents visited me in Brindavan, and we were given a separate chance to talk to Swami. And that is when my mother asked Swami, you performed the Upanayam for my two elder sons. Similarly, you should do it for this boy also. Swami said, yes, definitely I'll do it. And he also made a statement that he will send letter to me, letter of information to me, asking me to come like that. So that was a great thing. I said, okay, letter, Swami sending letter. So I thought, okay, and days went by, nothing happened. 1981, 83, 84, nothing happened. So as we should know, relatives, they started worrying because at that in 84, I completed my BA also. So normally Upanayam should be done in a very early age. Now I had crossed the undergraduation, entering into post-graduation, still without a sacred thread. So imagine what reactions would have come from people. So they're all pestering, and my mother was also a bit upset. She said, and I said, sorry, Swami told, let us wait for it. If it should happen, let it happen by Swami. Otherwise, let's see, I said. But 1985, when Swami asked, my mother, Swami said, okay. I said, let us wait and see. Then 1985, Swami had come to Chennai. That time, my father had the guts to ask Swami again. You know what? Swami said, it was actually in Sundaram. The entrance where Swami is entrance towards Swami's residence near the Shiva Party. That's where we were standing. And Swami asked, and now one that's Swami asked. And father said, no, Swami, he said he'll perform was Upanayam. Swami said, did I? It's a shock. I said, Swami, you said, it's okay, come in March. Then we went in March. My mother said, we'll leave on March 10th. March 17th is the auspicious day for doing Upanayam. After which, that other, the two columns of Uttarayan and Dakshinan, that comes and all. So she planned March 17th as the important date. And we thought we'll there with you 1 week. So the sister's family, brothers, father, mother were there. First day, and Swami saw, hey, Tabla, he used to call me Tabla. Hey, Tabla, Swami, he said you would perform my Upanayam, that's why I come. He said, again, yes, did I tell? When did you tell? He said, that Swami said, when he came to Chennai in January, he told. He said, okay, then wait. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, every day we serve darshan, Swami has come. Hey, inna Tabla, inna wait for that. I said, wait, that's it. And it so happened, so the mother had planned it like that, that 17th Swami to perform the Upanayam, and 19th we will leave, by 19th also we will leave Chennai, the Puttaparthi, and come back. They had booked the ticket also back to Chennai. But 17th Swami comes. Next to our group, there was another group from Tamil Nadu. Swami came and asked, Eppa Kalambiyachi, when are you leaving? They said, we are leaving today, Swami. Okay, then Chesko, he said, and asked them to take Padnamaskar. They all took Padnamaskar. This was an indication for me that what if Swami has the same thing to me? So when same thing happened, Swami came near me and said, Tabla, nee eppa pora? When are you leaving? He said. I had booked it on the 19th. But then I said, Swami, as you wish. You tell me the date. I said, Swami had the guts to tell. I said, Swami, you decide. I said, then wait. So immediately, one of my brothers went to Bangalore because that time there was no booking facility in Prashant India. They had either go to Anantapur or Bangalore to cancel. So my brother went to Bangalore to cancel. 18 Swami did not come to my side at all. 19th morning also Swami did not come. 19th, actually, when Swami performed opening to my brothers, my grandparents, my uncle, they all had come. Because my father was very sure that Swami will perform, so he took them all. But we didn't have a camera at that time. But it so happened that there was another family from Bangalore, from Bombay. They had a camera and they had clicked a photo of my Swami performing opening to my brother, both my brothers. That they had shared it with us. Because we didn't have a camera. We didn't have a camera at that time at home. But during 1985, when we went for my opening, brother-in-law had a camera, he brought it. But since Swami was not telling us the exact date, he had kept it in the room and we were going for the darshans. Every morning we used to take the camera. Evenings we will not take the camera because opening we thought we will not be performed in the evening. So we did not take the camera in the evening. But it so happened, Swami called me for Upanayam on 19th March, which is a Tuesday, and at 5 p.m., 4:30 or something. So we went inside the interview room without the camera. Imagine, my brother's Upanayam performed without me taking a camera, but somebody was there to take picture. But in my case, we had taken the camera, but we could not use it because it was in the room. But anyway, that is Swami's wish, because the happenings are very good inside. There, Swami created the thread, made my father and mother hold it, and he himself put it on my shoulder and taught me Gayatri Mantra thrice, like it's do the Brahmapadesha, no? Like same thing Swami did. He taught me phrase by phrase and made me repeat it twice. And after which he in fact placed his his hand on my head and chanted Shatamanam Bhavati for me, which I have not heard if Swami has done for others, but he did that. His whole palm was on my head, chanting Shatamanam Bhavati full and said, I'll be with you, don't worry. And immediately he swayed his hand and brought small dollar, and he himself hung it in my thread itself and said, let this be with you always, which means that I'm always with you. I'll be there with you, he said. It's a kind of an assurance. At that time, my only thought was, my brothers got the Upanayam done, but I got $1 apart from Upanayam. That was the only thought I had at that time, because I thought that was something great. I did not understand the meaning behind what Swami said, that I'll be with you always. Because I never thought that I'll be meeting with this kind of accident at later time. But Swami told that, and after that, Swami took us into the India. In fact, I should tell one more thing what happened at that time. I was in this kind of white dress there, and that interview room, only the 3 gentlemen from Singapore and our family members, plus the 8 bhajan singers were there. Swami said, no, he created, before creating thread, he said, hey, Tabla, banin potuka, chatte kated, remove your shirt. I was about to remove. Then he said, no, don't remove. Ladies are there, don't remove. Ladies are my sister and my mother, that's all. That whole place, that whole interview room, only 2 ladies. One is my mother, one is my sister. The Swami said, no, don't remove. And he said, he put the thread on my shirt itself. And then said, go to the inner room. After talking, after performing, after teaching Gayatri, meaning of Gayatri, then he said, go into the inner room, change, remove your shirt, put the thread inside, and then call me. Then I'll bring the people, he said. This is one important lesson that he taught us at that time. And during that time, he, while talking about the meaning of the Gayatri Mantra, he gave a very, very important lesson. It's a philosophical lesson which I didn't understand then, but now, because of my readings here and there, I could correlate with what Swami said. That is, he said, this after teaching the Gayatri Mantra to me, he said, this mantra is very, very, very important. You must chant it any time of the day, all throughout the day, at any point of time day. And he gave example. If you chant it at the time of waking up, it is like saying good morning to Gayatri. That is, you can chant the mantra as soon as you wake up, so that you think of Gayatri Devi at that time when you chant. And when you do that, it's like saying good morning to your friend, like that. If you chant it while taking bath, it is like doing Abhishekam to Gayatri. If you chant it before eating, it is like doing Naivedyam to Gayatri. These three, okay. The fourth one is the jocular thing, but also fact. Evenings, normally the evenings, I think you go for a walk. You go into the market, you'll be walking here and there, no? Please chant the mantra even then. That is, throughout your life, this mantra should be there always. This is the meaning. This is the understanding that he gave me. At that time, I said, okay, because he taught the Gayatri Mantra to my brothers also. But here, he told me that I can chant it anytime. And in fact, he said, people normally say that we must chant it only at this time, the morning, afternoon, evening, like that. But it's not that this mantra can be chanted any time of day. This is the teaching here. So I said, it was the main thing. But then, while reading philosophy, we have one Tirumular in Tamil Siddha, who has mentioned, Ullam Perum Kadavul, Voon Udamba Alayam. Your body is the temple and your inner self is God. This is the idea that Swami has told then. I was not a philosopher, I was only doing MA philosophy at that time. And we did not have this Tirumular and all at that time. Of course, we had teachings of self and other things. That's Western concept. Western concept of self is different from the Indian concept of self. So that idea only I was having in mind. So I did not know what Swami mentioned. But now, while in 2008, we had a conference on Siddha philosophy in Chennai. That is when I came to know about Tirumular's words. Ullam Perunkadavul Voonadamba Alayam. Your inner self is God and your body is a temple. This is what Swami has tried to tell in 1985, saying that when you wake up, you're saying good morning to the Gayatri who is in you. When you chant Gayatri while taking bath, you are doing Abhishek to Gayatri who is in you. When you eat, you're doing Naivedyam to Gayatri who is in you. And when you're walking or doing anything, chanting means that you are with God always. This is one of the teachings that Swami has taught. As I told you earlier, some teachings Swami has taught you directly, which you may understand then or later. That's a different matter. But some things you have taught directly. Some things you have learned from others. Now I come to one more thing. This is the learning that I got from what happened to another person. You know, I think it was in 1990 or so in Kodaikanal. At that time, after Bhajan, Sundaram Bhajan Group members were allowed to be with the students Bhajan Group, both for the Bhajans and also inside the Swami's bungalow for the evening sessions. Evening now, after evening Bhajan, Swami used to take the boys inside with the boys and the trust members or some invitees. Swami will sit, and there Swami used to, it's an inside room, the main hall of Sai Shruti, not the Bhajan hall, the next building where Swami stayed. There, Swami used to sit and ask somebody to talk on some topic, maybe their experiences, or it may be a philosophical topic or something like that. Swami asked them to talk, and taking a leaf out of that, Swami will give an impromptu discourse, for which I was there for 1989, 90 and all. I was there for more than 10-15 days. Swami stayed there for 1 month. I stayed in both occasions for more than 10-15 days, and daily we were there for that. And there were quite a few instances. Swami talking about Tirumangalva, Swami talking about the Ramayana, everything the way it happened. One instant, it was a totally different thing. On that particular day, when Swami came in, he said, and the letters that he had collected, and also the letters that had come by post, it was placed next to Swami in a small table. Swami did not talk to anybody. Swami did not ask anyone to talk. He just sat there. We were all sitting there. He just took all the covers, kept it on his lap, and took each cover, looked at the cover. He did not open. Looked at the cover, put it back. He was doing like that, and suddenly from middle he removed one cover. He looked at the cover, front side, back side, every side he looked. He did not open the cover. And then he showed it to all of us. He asked, from whom this letter has come. There was no from address. So boys in the front, they said, there's no from address. We don't know to whom from whom it has come. Then I said, addressed to whom? They said, Swami, it's addressed to you. Because Swami's name was mentioned, but sender's name was not mentioned. So I said, sender's name is not there, but it's addressed to you. Then he said, this letter, he did not open the letter. It was a cover, closed cover, pasted cover. He had it in his hand and said, this particular cover has come from a devotee in Punjab. He mentioned a place in Punjab. And it's come from that place. And the content is about a Bhajan Mandir that they have constructed there. And also, it contains the measurement of the land area, the building area, the cost of the building, everything. Inch by inch, he mentioned everything. He mentioned everything, what is contained in the letter. And said, after that, he said, the person who sent it requires Swami's blessings for it. Without opening the letter, he read all this. Now, he looked at somebody there and said, a student was there. He just said, hey boy, come here. He called that boy front out towards him. Boy came and Swami handed over the letter to him. Come on, read the letter. No, Swami asking another person to read the letter that was sent to Swami. How can anyone read another person's letter? So that boy said, Swami, how can I read? It's your letter. I said, no, read. I'm only telling you, read. He was hesitant to read it. Swami, I don't think it's nice. No. I said, no, I'm telling you to read. And then he made a point, jocularly. He said, look, I've been telling all these people the content of this letter. If you read, only then they will understand whether I'm right or wrong. If you don't read, they'll not know that what I'm said is right or wrong. They will not know what it is. So read it. So then he said, he started reading. Every bit of what Swami said was there, including the measurements. Each and every measurement was also there. So Swami mentioned the length of the land, things like that. Everything was there. And when he's about to complete that area, Swami just grabbed the letter back from the boy. He just grabbed it and then said, don't read beyond this point. Because whatever Swami said, that boy read. And now Swami grabbed the letter and said, don't read beyond this point. And said, after this point in that letter, what is contained is about the boy who read the letter. He said, the content of the letter after this point is about you. So don't read it. Because later on he tells us, this particular letter has come from that boy's father. The student's father sent the letter, which none of us knew. Even the student did not know. So he said, now beyond that, it's about you. They are asking about your studies, about you and all. That is between me and your father. Now, when I heard this, I thought to myself how small I was, because as a youngster, I used to see my mother writing letters and keeping in front of Swami, Swami's photo in the puja room at home. And she saw people giving a lot of letters. So I used to tell my mother, so many letters, will you have the time to read all these things? Will you really read all these things? This is what I used to ask. And my mother said, Pada, you don't understand something. And she didn't have an answer for that. But now, this incident gave me the insight that Swami does not require the letter. He knows the content even before opening the cover, which means he knows the content even before the person writes the letter. This understanding is got it. This is what I said, no? So this is a teaching which I saw happening in the life of another person. So either it can happen to us or it can happen to another person, but something like this. This is some of the simple teachings that Swami shows us. His philosophy is something different. We talk about Advaita and New Advaita like that. That's a different matter. But these are some of the things which are required for our own lives. And in fact, one more thing, which happened in my life itself about personal teaching is 1993 when our group was called for an interview in tribe Brindavan. We were there, full group, about 35 of us were there. And Swami was talking to us about bhajans, about practice. And normally when he talks to our group, he'll talk about bhajans, practice of bhajans, and the pronunciation, meaning, things like that, and how we must ourselves during bhajans, how we must sing, how we must have a feast, all these things is told. But that day, suddenly he asked, a Tabla, can you tell the meaning of communication to them? Communication, we all know, to talk and things like that, no? To send message, to convey something. But how is it related to bhajans? Why Swami is asking me that? I had no answer. So I said, Swami, in English, please explain by yourself. I said. Swami said, communication means it's a message going from one person to another person. And he said it is not broadcast. Broadcast is one person talking and everyone listening, like what happens in radio. One person in the studio reads the news and the whole world listens to it. That is broadcast. But communication is one-to-one. He mentioned one-to-one. I said, oh, okay. Said is some new thing that Swami started teaching. I said, okay, said something. But it did not end there. This is the meaning of communication, not what you do. So what I do. Communication, I do philosophy, nothing communication is there. I do tabla, what communication is there? So I said, Swami, Purila Swami, I didn't understand. I said, no, while playing tabla, what do? You show hands, you show some signs. What do? This, mind you, happens on Thursdays and Sundays when Swami is physically not there. Because I can see Satya's smiling, because when we are sitting in the group in front of Swami physically, we'll have everything planned. We go as per plan, unless Swami changes the plan. Otherwise, if we go per plan, we will not talk amongst each other. But regular Thursday Sunday, it became a kind of habit that we were just taking it very lightly. So we were just showing signs. That what sign? I said, Swami, we are communicating Shruti, because we don't know what other person's Shruti is. So as soon as the person gets a mic, he'll show me the Shruti, like 1, 2, 3, or 4 like this. Not 4, it's 4 like this, or 6 like this. So this is what I was doing there. This Swami is asking. That signing, symboling like that is not communication. The reason is, he said, he explained further. If you're doing it like that, you're not communicating to the other person. You are like broadcasting to everybody around. Everybody around sees what you're doing. And everyone is now disturbed by what you're saying, what you're doing. They're looking at you when you make these symbols. So why do you do that, he said. Sorry. So they asked, why do you do that? You're disturbing others. Just as you have come for bhajans, others have also come for bhajans. So don't do all these things, he said. Now, I said, okay, sorry, Swami, sorry. But the full meaning I got it a few months later when I was going for bhajans in a local transport bus. I was about to get down at actually after bhajan, towards bhajan I was going. So I was about to get down near Adya Gate Hotel. That's when somebody asked, sir, I think you play tabla in Sundaram. I said, yes. So what time is the bhajan? Yes, I told bhajan. Then he said, but sir, I have not seen you for some time now. Then he said, I had my exams and things like that. That is when he tells another thing. You see, whenever I come to Sundaram and for the bhajan, I used to look at it because I like the way you play tabla. He is not a tablaist, but he said the way you happily play and joyfully play the tabla with making a lot of symbols, signs like that and all. I used to admire that. Now I understood what Swami said. This has happened on Thursday, Sunday when Swami was physically not there, but Swami mentioning about it there. Same way, in 1986, when Swami gave interview to our group members, he has a totally different question about us. That can people ride triples in cycle? Can three people go in one cycle? He said, no, none of us, all of us said, no, you can go. Then Swami pointed out at me, one Mr. Trumurti, one Mr. Bhaskar. Said, you three go together in one cycle. It so happens that Trumurti is staying in Ananagar. And Bhaskar is staying in Vilivakam, which is beyond Ananagar. So they used to go together in Murthi's bike. But for me, just about 1 kilometer, 1.5 kilometers from Sundaram is the bus stop, through which only they'll pass. So they say, why don't you also join with us in the bike and they'll drop me in that bus stop and then they'll go together. So the triples was done only from Sundaram to that bus stop, just about 1 kilometer. That's all. And that time, the traffic was also not there as it is there in Sundaram right now. The Sundaram area is very heavily traffic loaded now, but then it was very, very big. There's only 3 buses used to fly at that time. And number of cars were also rebellious. So we used to go like that. But then Swami said, no, why do you do that? I said, Swami. I said, isn't it wrong as per law? He said, yes, it's wrong, it's not correct as per law. I said, why are you doing like that? This again happens on Thursday or Sunday after Bhajan. So this is how Swami has guided me and also especially the group, I should tell you, in this case here. Sundaram Bhajan Group, was established more because of the interest shown by Swami. Then we people coming together and joining, making it sense that in the early 70s or late 70s, Mahilas group was formed by the instruction of Swami, where some senior devotees and especially all India radio artists were there. They used to sing. They had a good group, but for gents, there was no group at all. Only some Sevadals used to come together during bhajans, sit, do the bhajan, and then they'll get back to the service activities. 1981, the new Sundaram, the present Sundaram was constructed and inaugurated. And at that time, Swami has told the then district president, I think, Strategic Shrimati and Kamala Sadin and all who were the Bhajan group members in the Mahila side. So they said, next year when I come to Sundaram, I should have a specific group for boys. This is the instruction he has given 81. And that is when the organization instructed Mr. Devanathan to make a group, to form a group of singers and a bhajan group like that. And that's when others brought in, like Mr. Kumar and one Mr. Kumar, who's right now in the US, who was an old Swami student, Swami singer in the early 80s, and Prashanti Nehas in Prashanti Bhajan Group. Like that, myself, Trimurti and all, we all joined, Niranjan and Bhaskar, we all joined at that time. And that is how 82 when Swami came, the group was formed. So as I told, Swami was instrumental in forming this group, number one. Number two, and Swami has always guided the group in various ways. As I mentioned about this communication to me, he has instructed about Shruti, about Ragam, about Bhavam, about pronunciation to the group. Some of the instances I can share. Like, for example, once when I think Kumar was singing one particular Murlidhara Mukunda Murari, there's one line Maya Nataka Sutradhari. This is in Madhava Manusha Veshadhari. Swami has mentioned it's not Madhava Manusha, it's Maya Manusha Veshadhari. Again, there's one bhajan, Brahmanda Nayaka Baba, where the 3 lines Ayodhya Nagari Tumne Banaye, Dwaraka Nagari Tumne Bataye, Shirdi Pati Tumne Basaye. Actually, if you listen to the Sundaram cassette, the singer would have sung only Ayodhya Nagari Tumne Banaye, Dwaraka Nagari Tumne Banaye, Shirdi Pati Tumne Banaye. The Banaye is common in all these 3. Swami told that boy, look, it should be Ayodhyanagari tumne banaye, Dwarakanagari tumne bataye, Shirdi Pati tumne basaye. All means established. But first in Ayodhyanagari tumne banaye means it is actually established by Rama. Dwarakanagari tumne bataye means spoken of by Krishna. Shirdi Pati tumne basaye, where they lived. Shirdi Pati is the place where both Shirdi and Pati Sai lived. This is the meaning. Actually, it is established. Basic meaning is established, but some nuance Swami tried to teach us. And of course, he has not done that to Pati singers, he has done it here. And again, once we were singing this Shambho Murari, Shankar with this two-line bhajan. That time somebody told us here that Shambho and Murari should not come together because Shambho refers to Shiva, Murari refers to Krishna. So we should sing it as Shambho Purari. So we were singing like that. I think in 2007 when Swami came for the Atirudha Mahayajnam, one of our bus started this bhajan song Shambho Purari. Swami straight from the Murari, say Murari, he said. He did that correction. And then the bhajan was Krishna Rama Govinda Gokulanandana Gopala, where while recording we found that there's no word of Sai. Krishna Rama Govinda Gokulanandana Gopala, Rama Krishna Govinda, Jai Krishna Gopala, like that. There's no, so there's one line Gopala, Gopala, just two words in that line. So we changed it Sai Ram, Sai Ram. So when we sang like that in the cassette also, it's there like that in the cassette also. But 2007 when Swami came and one boy was singing, Swami said, no, it's not Sai Ram, Sai Ram, sing it Gopala, Gopala. Sometimes no, because this is a bhajana. The bhajans are basically namavalis. Shambho and Krishna Murari from. It doesn't, you need not go into the meaning of that because it's just namavali. Like that he has taught. And as I told about communication, one more particular instance. You know, Devanathan was the founder group of member of the group. He used to sing this bhajan Sai Hamara Ham Sai Ke. It's there in the cassette even now in the CD also. He would have sung it as a prema hamara, hamara, hamara. That ra will be elongated. Hama, ra will be elongated. Then that was I think 1984, sorry, not 84, 86, 1984, 86, 85, 86. Or 1990, sorry, 1990. Abbotsbury, Devanathan was singing, Swami was going around, and during the end of the bhajan, Swami showed sign to us, asking us to go to the corner of the hall and looked at the Mailas and said, continue bhajans. So I think Satya's sister only continued the bhajan there, and we all went to the corner of the hall in Abbotsbury in front of the devotees. We were standing around Swami, and Swami asked that Devanathan, hey, what did you sing? Come on, sing. Bhajan is going inside, and Swami is asking Devanathan to sing that line. He sang. He said, no, it's not hamara. Hamara, hamara. The ha, ma, ra should be equal. He taught like that. Now, why I'm saying this is pronunciation or the way we sing, the modulation or meaning, everything he has taught. By this, he not only established a group, he has nurtured the group. That's what I wanted to bring to your idea. There is every now and then, in fact, after me, you know, the Sai Govind was playing Tabla. Once he was playing Tabla in Prashanti Nilayam, while during our bhajans. While doing that, I think the Shruti of Tabla was not matching his singing. From there, from his chair, he has indicated to Sai Govind that Shruti was not correct. He immediately changed it. And here, when Swami comes to Sundaram, we have Naga Bhajan. Swami stand in the lotus. I think you know the lotus, the first floor. Swami stand there and give darshan, and we will be standing here the ground level and singing. But the way Swami informs us to start Aarti is very unique. If you happen to see the video of the Nagar Bhajan at Sundaram, you will find, you won't see when Swami, if you have to be very, very attentive to see Swami nodding his head will slightly nod for the singer to start Aarti. Only that boy, even I have played Nal during that. Even I'll not know. I'll be playing for the bhajan, which is being sung. Suddenly somebody will start the Devana, because Devana will, he'll be looking at Swami throat. So as soon as Swami gives the indication, he'll start the arti. That communication was between Swami and Devananda. Nobody else knew. The whole audience will be wondering why suddenly this man has started arti while singing. Even the previous bhajan would not be stopped. But so this happens in Prashantinam also when Swami is there. Swami is just move his footrest a bit. Boys will start arti. That's the indication. That is the communication that Swami wanted to teach me in 1980. So that should be communication, not what you do. So likewise, these are the things that he has taught directly or through messages. Now, some more thing about my personal, as I mentioned, my father, earlier devotees. It so happened that early 70s only Swami decided to form Bhajan, Sevadals. There was no Sevadal, only the active workers were there. So Swami said, we'll have Sevadal. And Swami instructed it should be 40 and below. So they told, and in, I think, Ishwas's house, Swami has seen my father and said, hey, Sevadal selection is there, you come. Swami has told my father to come for the selection inside. But Swami has instructed the organization that people should be 40 or below 40 for becoming Sevadal. So I think Sri Ishwar knew my father. He said, look, you are 41, so you can't come. My father was 41 at that time. So he went back. Swami came to the room, saw all the people, and Vandacha. So she was supposed to hand out the badges to the Sevadals. Suddenly looked at us and now only there's that one lean person who was a very good active worker where I saw him doing last year. Where is that man? I told him to come. That's when Ishwar sir reminded. He had come, no, bring him. So immediately Ishwar sir had come down and he called my father. See, Swami instructed them 40 and below. So Ishwar sir had done his duty. So he did not say anything to Ishwar sir. He said, beyond that, he called me father, and that is when he made my father the first Sevadal convener. My father was the first Sevadal convener in Chennai. So he was not only taken inducted as Sevadal, but as the first Sevadal convener, and my mother was also the first Sevadal member there, the Mahila side. And one more thing, one rarest of rare distinction that our family has is my father signing as witness to the Tamil Nadu Trust deed. When Tamil Nadu Trust was formed, Satsangh Trust Tamil Nadu was formed in the 70s. After the morning darshan, my father had gone for his office work. While he was in the office, he had received a call asking him to come to Ishwas's house for some important work. They did not tell what work it is, so they were asked to come. I came there. You could see Swami there with another government official. The government official is the registrar or sub-registrar who has come to take Swami's signature for the formation of the trust. So Swami as the trustee is signing the deed. And two witnesses. One is Ishwas's brother and one is my father. So my father is signed as a witness to Swami's signature in the Tamil Nadu trust deed. So this is the rarest of the rare opportunity that Swami had given to us, to our family. So in that way only, he has brought us that. Now, I'll come to this one particular thing, but Swami blessing me and mentioning that, I think I can stop it because it's already 6:15. So I'll explain about that. 2001, normally since 1989, I've been visiting Korea for Tamil University. And only a few of the Bhajan Group members, Jen said, used to visit Tamil factors for Swami during Tamil University at that time. 1996, after I became a leader, after I became leader in 1994, 1995, I took the full group. And that time so happened that Swami, apart from singing, gave us an opportunity to attend the session inside the tribe Brindavan along with students. That is when he asked about, in fact, important thing happened at that time. Swami asking everyone. One thing is, Swami is very, very happy when he knows that we are doing well in the personal life or official life. In front of everybody, if you would have seen, he would ask, when Pandit Ravishekar comes, he'll ask his student to play tabla for him. When MS Blishmi comes, he'll ask, in fact, one of our bhajan members also was asked to sing Bhajagovindam in front of MS. And Swami said, see how they're singing. And he'll ask how they're singing. They'll say, oh, they're singing well, like that. But we know our standard, we know their standard. But Swami used to feel happy when they is mentioned. But something like that happened here. That is, he was asking each one of us. One person said he's a businessman, one person was constructing houses, one person was in an important company, and there's one person, Sairam, doing BTech at that time, and I was doing PhD. So we all mentioned like that, no? Particularly, Swami looked at the officials there, and one of them was Justice Bhagavati. So just our Swami used to, in fact, one thing Swami used to call us as Sundaram Bhajan boys as Mandir boys. Because that's the identification he gave to us. Important identity that he gave to us as Mandir boys. He said, see, my boys, they're doing well in their personal lives. This one thing I always tell people is that whatever you're in the organization, that's one thing. That Swami will be very happy because you're doing his work. But apart from that, he wants us to excel in our personal life to the extent possible. In fact, it happened for my brother. My brother, as I told you, first Balvikas in Chennai. Both my brothers were first Balvikas students here in Chennai. And one of them went on to become the Supreme Court judge. He's right now the Supreme Court judge in Chennai, in India. When he became the High Court judge of Madras in 2006, he was given an opportunity to talk before Swami in Prashantam during Tamil music. When he was introduced as the judge, a first Balvika student as a judge, Swami is very happy. He has told the students around, see, my student, he'll become a judge. So this is the pride that Swami shows when he knows what we are doing. It is not only for Balvika students, it's not only for Sevadal, it's not only Sundaram, it's for all of us. Each one had his experience or her experience in their own lives. But since I'm given the chance to talk to you, I'm telling this. Others will be having it in their hearts. So it's not personal glory that we're talking, but this is what Swami tells. He's very, very happy. And whenever there are students, I make it a point to tell this because they should do well in their studies and take up good positions, come good in their lives. So this, they have to be very, very careful. And I tell them, look, this is what Swami expects from us. Now, coming back to that fateful thing, 2001, when our group was there, both Mahilas were there. Since 1996, Mahilas also started coming for bhajans. So earlier on, it was only Sundaram boys doing bhajans till about 1989 to 1995. Only boys were there. 1996 only Mahila Bhajan also started coming because the 1995 when Swami gave this opportunity, we all thought that whole Tamil Nadu should go and make it the Tamil Nadu's function for the Tamil University. That's when we started in 1996. And that time we started the bhajans. Since then it is going on like that, 96, 97, 98, like that. 2001, we were having a bhajan there. After the bhajan, that April 14th of 2001 was Saturday and 15th is Sunday. So 14th, I thought 14th bhajan was over. 15th, I thought I can come back so that I can be there for evening bhajan at Sundaram for playing tabla. So 15th morning, we started. Actually, I had taken a hired car, which I can drive. It's not sure for everyone, but we can drive. Hired a car. Myself, my father, mother, and one of my neighbor, my sister's son, who had completed his BCom from Swami's College and who was in India at that time in Chennai. We were all coming together from Brindavan. One of us from Brindavan, there's a stoppage in Kolar where we used to have a breakfast. We had a breakfast. And after that, when we were about to come, Actually, I was driving the car, and my nephew was sitting behind me. Father was next to me, and my mother was behind father. But when I was about to start, my mother was told that she would like to sit behind me and send the nephew to the other side. Thought maybe she wanted to change of place. We did that, and we were coming. When we crossed Rani, I think Chittur, between Chittur and Ranipet, we met a major accident around 12 o'clock, 12:30 in the afternoon. There's a small, it was a big boulder, not a boulder. You can call it a hillock, not a boulder. We had to pass on the sideways to that to go to the main road. Main road was also a curvy thing there, where I did not spot the lorry that is coming from the other side. That was also coming fast, and I was also coming fast, and it was a head-on collision. My mother passed away on the spot, which I knew only later on, because I had multiple injuries, multiple fractures. Like I had I got hurt here, where the nerves got hurt, and I had an operation here, and had a fracture in my left hand and a fracture in my right thigh. So major damage, and my father was also unconscious because the steering wheel, because of the impact, it went slantingly towards my father and hit my father's ribs. So my father was 60 plus at that time. He had a damage of his ribs, and the car was totally. My nephew was alive. He could somehow break open with the help of some locals and come out. And some of our duties are coming behind us. We could stop them, and they took us all to the hospital. But a doctor had come, Mr. Dr. Ramanohar had come. He had seen that my mother was not, his liver died on the spot. So they could take my father out. So he had taken my, I think, Mr. Ramani and Dr. Ramanohar. They took my father to the hospital, but I could not be taken because the door and everything was jammed. So I could not be taken out. And some youth members had come behind in bikes. They took the help of local people with crowbars and they broke open the car and they tried that. And later on, they too had left. They could not remove me from the entangled car. They had left. Till today, I do not know who took me to the hospital. Somebody has taken me to the hospital, and I had gone to the hospital even before my father was brought in there. Because this is what Mr. Ramani was telling us. You were there before they came. So no, I don't know who took me. Later on, through some other place, I came to know that one the violin duo Ganesh Kumar they had taken it. They did not know me. They had mentioned that the driver was hurt badly. We had to admit him in CMC Vellore. That's where my father was brought. Then I was given a lot of treatment because of my femur bone breakage, for which they had done operation. And for my hand, they said just plaster of Paris. And they said it was to go to Germany. My vision was okay. My eyelid, the right eyelid, closed because actually the three nerves here I was told. The one of the nerve controls the movement of the eyelid that got affected, and because of it, the right eye is closed. Other than vision was there. If I open the eye, I could see. That the doctors ensured. So they said we'll not concentrate the eye now. We'll concentrate the leg portion, and they did the operation there. But for about a month, I did not know all these things. April 14, 2015, 2001 was the accident. For 15-20 days, I was in Vellore Hospital, CMC, the Christian Medical and Missionary Services Hospital was there. And I was there. And later on, I was brought to Chennai. And even there, because of my head injury, the doctor Kumbaresh, who was in the Bhajan Group, the cancer specialist, he admitted me in Kalip Hospital in Chennai, near our place, near Aripuram. And he wanted to keep me under doctor's observation because of head injury. So I was there for another 15 days. But my father's thing, the ribs, they said nothing can be done. Just resting alone will recuperate the ribs, they said. And he was brought at that time. Now, people at home, they had the great responsibility of keeping me there in Vellore Hospital. And my father was discharged. So he was kept in Kali Hospital in Chennai, where my Sundaram Bhajan Group, the Dr. Kumarish was taking care of my father there. And here, my brother had to go to Chittur for police registering complaints and all, and taking my mother's body, coming to Chennai, doing the cremation work and all. So they were all doing this thing when I was there in the hospital, not knowing any of these things. I was not aware of actually, I completely forgotten about it. And 1 month later only, when 20 days later, I was discharged from CMC. I brought to Kalipa here. I was there for 15 days. Even then, nobody spoke to me about my mother. They should speak about my father. I used to ask, nothing, don't do it. That's what they were saying. Only after a month, when I was supposed to be discharged from the Kalipa hospital home, doctor informed me that my mother passed away at that time. The reason why they did not tell me is because of my head injury. They thought that this may aggravate my emotions or have problems with me because of the brain damage. Because at the time of the accident, 3 days I was in ICU, and the head portion was full of contusion, lot of liquid, nothing. I could not scan report later on when neurologist told nothing can be deciphered because it's full of fluid. So the doctors here, they were a bit afraid of informing because I was not in my stable state, they felt. I was not told. But when I came to know of all these things, the first thought that I came to was about the dollar that Swami had given. I told my brother and sister, look, I had $1 which Swami gave. And Swami mentioned that he'll be there with me always. Now that dollar is missing. I think it is because I thought that I had lost the dollar and because of it the accident has taken place. Then my brother-in-law, they said, no, nothing. On the day of the accident, whole body was full of blood. So the time of operation, we had to remove everything. So we have removed the chain, and at that time I put a silver chain because when Swami had put it, he put it in the thread. But because the dollar weight, the dollar used to go down. So that was uncomfortable. So I bought a chain and put it like that, a silver chain. So that was brought, that was full of blood. So the washed it, kept safe, they brought it. Now, on that particular day in 2001, I realized what Swami said. You have this with you, I will always be there with you. That message I understood after this major accident. Because, but for Swami, I will not be here talking to you. I would not have been in Sundaram from 2006. I would not have been in my college teaching. Because my teachers, my colleagues, they know. Many of them have come and seen me in the Velur hospital, seen my condition. 2 of my colleagues had stayed the first day for 2 days because my mother's ceremony was here. Mother's, they had to do the cremation doll. So that time, 2 of my colleagues stayed in the hospital in the ICU. Stayed in means I was in the ICU, they were waiting outside. So they all know how my head had become very big and all like that. They were mentioning, which I don't know. But there too, one thing, fact that I don't remember is a blessing for me. Please don't ask me what happened to my mother, that I can't tell right now. But in my case, Swami had said, in the sense that one person told me about the nerve. Here there are 3 nerves. You see, there's a sky here because of the operation. There are 3 nerves going together here. One is the optical nerve, which controls your vision. Second is olfactory nerve, which controls your smell. Third is the third nerve, which controls your eyelid. The doctor, or I think the physiotherapist, he told me, if 3 things, if you get hurt there, all 3 will get hurt together because they're going together. They're going one or the other. They get hurt, all 3 should get hurt. If not, nothing should get hurt. But if your optical nerve gets hurt, you cannot have vision for the rest of your life. You will have an eye, but you can't see because that communication that goes from your eye to brain is lost. So you can't see. Your vision will be lost. But the same eye for a blind man can work. Yes, sir. Olfactory is the same thing. But the third nerve has the capacity to regenerate. Or even if it doesn't regenerate, it does not matter because whenever you want to read, you can just open your eyes, read, then close it back. Because you have the vision. Now, after telling this, that physiotherapist told me, here you should understand one thing, sir. Some divine force has saved you. Because if the olfactory is hurt, your vision is, your smelling is totally gone for life. Optical nerve is lost, the vision is gone for life. But this is not of the any help, because if you want, you can the hand open it, read books, because you will require your eyes. You have one eye perfect. Now, if you want, open it, read it, and then close it back. But now, due to Swami's grace, it's opening back. Well, that's what the doctor said. You can either operate it, but if you operate it, they will tie the upper lid here. If you tie it here, if you stitch it here, the eye cannot be closed even during sleep. That eye will be open. Then it will be subject to insects trouble. So they said, good that you can do it. You can keep quiet. It may open, or even if it doesn't open, but luckily for me, since the accident happened in April 2001, from December 2001 also, I started this eye started opening little bit. Even now, it's not full. If you see here, you can see the difference between this eye and this eye. This eye is half open. First time it was just a small dot. I just had a small streak of light coming there. Now, certainly it's half open. Now, this way, Swami had saved from that major accident. But of course, I had to lose my mother. But I have no answer for that. Father was saved, and he lived. The accident took place in 2001. He lived up to 2016, hale and healthy, without any problem. So that itself is a major thing. For him, at that age, because when the accident happened, I was 32. But my father is 60 plus. For him to survive that major accident, it was head-on collision. In fact, the people who saw the car on the spot, they could not recognize anything from the car. They said, from that state to now, it's only song. Now, because of this, I still keep my work in Sundaram Bhajan. Because maybe Swami had some plan for me by making me alive like this. So now, by sharing also, I don't want this to happen to anyone, because I've gone through hell. I've learned a lot of lessons from that personal level, and also in other philosophical level also that's there. But personal level, how in fact my family, they took care of me so well. Apart from the medicines, apart from the doctors who treated me, my family had been a biggest strength. So, but for them, but for Swami, but for them, I can't be anything like this now. So now, these are some of the teachings that Swami tells us, gives us, shows us, and makes us understand. It can be either directed to us, or to someone, or happening at some other level, which we come to know. But we have to just keep ourselves open. That's what I have learned. When I say this, I'm not saying that I've learned everything. Something at least to some extent. These are some of the areas which I thought I can share. So I think I'm very, very happy that you all gave me this wonderful chance for me to recollect what has happened in my life, for me to rejoice in that. Because what Swami does, what Swami tells is for us, nothing for him. He has mentioned, in fact, some of the thought for the days when you do that, some of the areas, he says, it's not for me, it's for you, he says. So these lessons, whatever I said, what has happened to my father, what's happened to my brother, what's happened to me, what has happened to the group, everything. In fact, when I mentioned about that Sai Hamara song, the teaching Swami did in Abbotsbury. Next day morning, Swami is leaving Chennai. So we were all waiting. Morning, like next day morning, Swami is leaving. We were all waiting. Suddenly he said, hey boys, we used to be, the one good thing about us is we boys will be together. Bhajan boys will be together always. Because 85, we were together. Swami told us we will call us for an interview, but took so much of time that only we were there, and we were asked to leave. 5 of us, we just went and the basement of the Shanti, where we have the Sai Sundareshwar Sannidhi right now. We had a basement. We went there so that nobody will notice, and that's when Swami called us. So only 5 of us were there. Of the 40 at that time, only 5 were there at the interview, and 3 more could join us. Nobody else could join. Since then, we were all together. When Swami was in Chennai, our group members will be together because nobody wants to miss the opportunity like that. So we were together at that time, and suddenly said, "Hey boys, do bhajans." There was no mic because we were waiting for Swami to leave, sir, because car was ready. How to keep mic in the ground outside Sundaram? We're waiting. Then Swami said, immediately only one mic was brought for the singer. And by the time I could bring the naal, the whole row was full. First row was full of Bhajan Group boys. Normally we used to sit as 3 or 4 or 5 in one row so that others can sit. But that day, full Bhajan Group members are sitting in one row. The singer, they are now sitting right under the lotus in Sundaram. And I sitting right near the Shiva Parvati statue. You have the Swami's entrance, the pillar, the Vinayaka Sannidhi in Sundaram. That's about 100 meters to 150 meters away from the main singer. That time, one of them started Ganesha. And you know what? Swami started moving around the devotees. Mahilas were not there. So we saw this, we sang the second bhajan because Mahilas were there, but one person was standing in one place, another person, they were scattered. So they could not come together. But since we were in a group, we started bhajan. We sang Guru, Vita, Ganesha, we sang another bhajan. Then suddenly Devanand started the Sai Mara. You know, at that time, I still have the video. In fact, when I gave the Samarpan talk in Brindavan, it's also there in YouTube. There I showed the video also. Swami is standing near me, near the Shiva Parvati side. And when he heard Devanand singing, he turned around, went back to Devanand, stood in front of Devanand, and ensured that he sang the way Swami taught him. Swami is singing along with Dev at that time. When Dev was singing Sai with the first line, Swami sang along with him and ensured that they will sing the same way. This happened the next day. So this is an opportunity for us. By Swami's grace, or by previous Janma's grace, or by elders' grace, we got that. In fact, to be a part of Sundaram Bhajan Group, it was started by Swami itself is a blessing. And to have had this opportunities. Now we have, that time I was playing alone. Now we have about 5 or 6 tabla players, of which 2-3 boys have had good opportunities, not the others. There is one singer right now who has not seen Swami physically. Now, when it comes to that, what makes Swami give that kind of a opportunity to us? In fact, while being in the group as a leader, I should tell my people, look, Swami could have started this group with SPB or somebody or Mano. They could have, if the Swami told, they could have come and sung. Well, in fact, I still remember playback singer T.M. Soundarajan was a singer, bhajan singer. He, during his era in films, he was singing bhajans for Swami in the organization. He was a committee member and a singer, member, bhajan singer. Bhajan singer, there's no group, but as a bhajan singer. But now, Swami has given that opportunity to us. Why? We are not that great as TMS or Balvikas or somebody, but he has made us part of his mission to take forward his mission through us. And it's up to us now to be his instrument. And I consider purely myself because as Satya mentioned in the invite also, today also, my journey with music is purely accidental because I did not learn singing. Of course, when I was doing my 10th standard, I learned Mridangam for 10 months, something like that, with Vikku Vinayakaram. But that even for the basics of Mridangam, because beyond that, 6 months, 7 months, what can we learn? Nothing. So I've not even done Arangetram. When I came to Brindavan also, I was not a singer. Of course, I had sung. In fact, when I told you in Brindavan, when Swami gave permission to have lunch with him, He asked me if I can sing bhajans. I said, yes, I can sing bhajans because I was a bhajan singer in the Balvikas. So I sang Govinda Gopala Prabhu in front of Swami in the dining hall, or in Swami's dining hall. But when it came to Sundaram, there was, at that time they took me because they knew me. My father, they took me to the group. That's all. I was not tested. But bhajan testing came up 2-3 years later when I could not pass through the test. That is when I told the then leader Devanathan that I can try my hand in tabla because there was a tabla set. We should take it. There should be professional who's come and play, but he was not coming regularly. So I told Dev, why not I try that? I had some basic sense of rhythm. So I tried. In fact, I was tried without mics first. I was asked to sit and play without mics. Only after Dev and Kumar got the confidence that I can play, they gave me the mic. That is how I started. Accidentally, I became a tablaist. I wanted to become a singer, but not an accomplished singer. But accidentally, I went to tabla. And by Swami's grace, right from recording volume 1 to 53. Recording volume 1, we had in big spools, just 2 tracks. If somebody makes a mistake, the whole song has to be done again. But now we have tracks. We started the track recording only in volume 32, 33, 34. Till that time, volume 1 to 33 was 2 tracks. We used to plan for the day, number of songs for the cassette to be done on the particular day. We used to sing it, one gents, one ladies, like that. It was like a bhajan session. The recording itself was like bhajan session. We sing the bhajan as a practice and then do the recording. Only the instrumentalists like flute, guitar, sitar, they used to be other. It was our group. We started like that. Then we went into track recording, then into digital recording, and then to CD, and then to MP3. By Swami's grace, he made me part of all these things. Now, it ended one particular thing that happened in 2014 when Swami was physically not there. Why I'm saying this is, if we do Swami's work, Swami takes care of the rest. Why I'm saying this is, 2007 we did, after 1997 we did not do recordings. So 2007 when Swami came to Chennai, this brother Shravanam had the guts request Swami that we were doing recording with. And Swami said, why don't you do in your studio? He had established a studio at the time. Swami blessed his studio when Swami came to Chennai in 2007. So you do the recording there itself. We started doing volume 57, 59, 58, 60. We did up to 60 like that. 57 to 60 we did there. But after 60, even CD market had come down. Nobody was interested in buying CD players, and CD players were not available. CDs was also stopped. Only MP3 and other things had come down. Because of mobile, we can have the bhajans in mobile itself like that. That had come. So I had an idea. Why not we convert our bhajans into MP3? But for conversion, digital recording is required. Our volume 1 to 32 is analog recording. Only from 34 onwards became digital. So 1 to 30 analog recording, which cannot be converted to MP3. So Shravan said, Anna, this is the problem. If you have digital recording CDs, we can do it. That master should be in digital. We did not have. So I did not know what to do. Yeah, 2012, 13, we were just wondering, we did not know what to do, how to do and all. Suddenly 2014, I get a call from an unknown number. That person introduces himself to me, saying that, look, I'm from Symphony Recording. You have done your duplications of your bhajan cassette with us. But now we are planning to close down our establishment, and because of which we are handing over the masters to the owners. One Mr. Kumar gave me your number. So why don't you come and pick up your masters? I said, okay, because our masters are in big spools and later in digital tapes. Digital tapes are just much of data. When I went there, it was a surprise for me because volume 1 to 56 were in CD format. We had done the masters in CD way back in 1997, 98, 99, like that, which I had completely forgotten. and given to these for duplication of cassettes. When they're closing down, they gave it. You know what? As soon as I saw that, I took them the whole lot in my car, went to Shravanam studio and placed it there. Look, your CDs are there. Now it's up to the master MP3. That is when we spoke to Mosaber and we got our volume 1 to 60 in MP3 format. In fact, the MP3 from 1 to 60 is record sales for us. Within a year, 5,000 of the set that we brought 12 CDs in one box. Now, that particular thing, if one day I had not got that master, I had completely forgotten. And Kumar was not here because Kumar, myself, and one Namdev, we were there closest with duplication lot. No, Namdev is in the US, he's not here right now, he's in the US. Kumar sir is not here, he's gone for some other place right now. But for that company taking the decision of closing down, I could not have got the series back. That is how Swami helps us. So that is how we could bring this MP3. And we started now in YouTube also. That is in stop for suspended for a while. We'll be starting it again, where we brought our songs, single tracks of our songs, our bhajans, every Thursday and Sunday. And after the end of the one volume, we are actually now 9 volumes have been posted in YouTube. In our 10th volume, while doing, we had some problems, so we could not do it further. We plan to do it further. Once it comes in YouTube also, then our recordings will be there permanently for all. Now, it is not when people after 10 years or 15 years or 100 years, when people come to see or hear the bhajans, they'll not know who did it. They'll only have the Swami's bhajans with them. Now, that is where Swami made us as instrument for his mission. In that way, very thankful to Swami, though not a musician by myself, not a tablaist by myself, but he made me, and knew nothing about recording that. Now I'm able to talk about all this only because of blessings of Swami and the experience that I got from the people, technicians and others. So with that, I think he has blessed me immensely. And I'm happy about that right now. I think I have spoken more than enough right now, or at least taken more time. So it's up to you now. So if you have anything to interact, we can say. But I'm very happy that you all very patiently listening. Thank you so much. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity, Satya. And Swami, I really thank Swami for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be with you all today. Thank you so much.
Saran, as you already shared with us, okay, everything is Swami's design, isn't it? It is nothing that we can take any credit for or any initiative or anything of that sort. He knows the right time, he knows the right message, and he knows who should receive it, from whom he should receive it. So, like you said, and he has said that all I want you to do is make yourself available. And that is what we keep forgetting from time to time. And then it is through these messages that he brings us back into remembering those also, isn't it? So every one of the things that you have said is a lesson, for us. Yes, he doesn't have to prove to us of his omnipresence or anything of that sort, but it is only that he's telling us, you keep forgetting it, isn't it? And like that he has brought us into his mission. Yeah, I think the responsibility of what are we doing about it. That is why we learn so much. Today we learned from you about just that thought. We also keep talking about this, that do we feel that Swami is there every time we are sitting in the bhajans? Okay. Or like you said, when he was physically there, yeah, we were behaving in a different way. But that practice, that sadhana, I think that is why these messages today he has brought for us to remind us of that, or to remind us of the power of that Gayatri mantra. And then it is not meant for a particular person or a purpose, but it has been part of our life, Brother Chandru. Really, really so beautiful. It is not about taking more time. I only feel there would be so much more that you would have learned, okay, in all those sessions. Okay, and I'm sure that you couldn't have shared all those today with us. we really look forward to another session, at least, if not more of them, where we would also like to learn, because Swami has personally shared each of these. So we become a little better in whatever little we are doing in his mission. That's all our aspiration. And then I think he will keep guiding us.
Correct.
Really, really, very, very beautiful. If anybody has any questions, please ask. Sairam?
Sairam uncle.
Sairam, brother.
Sairam.
Uncle, this is Sairaj here,
Sairam.
and it was really wonderful. So I'm sorry, for half an hour I had some gust at home. I missed in between I lost half an hour session, but it was really, really inspiring, And there's no questions and all. Thank you for sharing such a wonderful experiences. Because how Swami takes, different people to different situations is really, unbelievable. And thank you, Uncle, for the beautiful satsang. Thank you so much. It was really very, very blessed. Sairam.
You're very right, because in my case, I never thought I'll be with the bhajans for so long. And in fact, when I went to Brindavan the other day, now in Brindavan, I think they should have known that the media center where Swami's life is shown in videos, in small clippets, About 27 or 27, 30 displays are there, where you can choose what you want to see. There, somebody was there as the in charge there. And when Swami said, "Hey, I did not know you were coming. I know that Chandrasekar is coming, but I did not know because he said, I know you only as Bhajan Chandru." He was introduced that one Chandrasekar is coming for visiting the place, the exhibition, the digital exhibition. So she said, they said Chandrasekar, there are quite a few Chandrasekars in Chennai itself, one shape of Chandrasekar and all. So I did not know who, but then they should have told me as Bhajan Chandru. Imagine, for a person who does not know about singing, who does not have, in fact, Satya's brother has composed bhajans. In my case, I don't even sing bhajans, but I'm referred to as Bhajan Chandra. So, as you mentioned now, how Swami has selected me for this, I have no answer for that. Nobody, in fact, my mother, I don't know whether you understand Tamil, my mother used to tell, Alayla Urki Ilupupu Chakara. That is, where there's a place doesn't have a sugar factory, even something that is not tasty will be accepted. He said, my mother said, you are accepted in Sundaram as a tablis because there is nobody there at that time, 82, 83, like that. For me, from then to for Swami making me like this, no, that is when you just be what you are. He'll mold you. Say a typical example. Now, when the recording started in 85, Mr. Devanathan and Kumar wanted me to play tabla. But the music director who came, he's a all India radio specialist. He said, no, playing in Sundaram is one thing, playing for recordings is another thing. They said he'll bring another tabla, but let this man. Then these two people said, no, we want Chandra to be there, but let that person be main. So imagine that person was having the mic. I was given a secondary mic. That person was having the main mic. He's Mr. Bhairavan, who has played for films like Veerapandi Kattabomman, who was a tablaist in G. Ramanathan's, not G. Ramanathan, oldest music director. He was the main tablaist for him. And he introduced himself, how? I played from M.S. Subbulakshmi to Kollangudi Karupai. There was some singer, a folk singer, Kollangudi Karupai. And M.S., he has accompanied with M.S. in the UN, Geneva. He was the main player in volume 1 to 9. He was the main player. From 11 onwards, I became the main player. But then I was allowed to play because I knew the nuances of bhajan, that's all. But playing for the bhajan. But for me to help Kumar in the editing work, that time we used to have the big spool where one editor, one Mr. Raghu, who is from HMV, his master's voice, he used to cut the tapes, keep it, and then join them. This is how the editing was done at that time. And now we have the computer editing, which I'm also doing for Swami's Thought for the day right now. So now, era has changed. But Swami has maybe do this. he has chosen, as you mentioned rightly, he chooses and makes us work. So I'm very happy that he has chosen me to do it and also share that with you all. So nice talking to you, sir. Anybody else?
Sairam, anybody else?
Yeah, Sairam, uncle, thank you so much for sharing. Today we were doing in Singapore, we are doing some Gayatri Mantra Mahayagna. We are doing chanting, okay?
Oh, very nice.
So I think around May, we have a performing the yagna. So as part of that, everybody will be chanting during their day. Today, exactly when you are telling that, I was doing a shopping and I was doing the Gayatri Mantra. So when you share
very nice.
that, you can chant any time, right? Swami really telling that yes, what you are doing is correct. You are in the line, correct. So I just want to share that yes, Swami shows the guidance and he also showing the signs. Thank you so much
Definitely, because
for your
in fact,
experience.
when I was talking about the bath, the eating and all, he gave the meaning. But then he said, he added this point. Evenings, the chumma market he'll be walking around, stand Gayatri even at that time. He did not give any meaning for that. But then meaning is to be with Swami always. That's how I understood. Very happy that you also experienced it. And I had been some part in telling you something, because these sessions are nothing but Swami talking through us, as Satya mentioned the beginning itself. Want to listen to Swami through you. So maybe Swami has given both of us this opportunity to share this. Thank you so much.
Reassurance.
Yes, reassurance, correct.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Sairam.
Anybody else?
Saram, uncle. This is
Sairam.
Balvikas here. Actually, very nice talk, and I'm extremely sorry to hear about the accident which you mentioned. Right, so it should have been very difficult moments for you. Just one thing that crossed my mind is, at any point, I mean, I know it's personal, but did you ever have the opportunity to clarify on the loss of your mother with Swami, or did Swami come across to you on this? Or, I mean, we all know it's karma, but it is a difficult thing to bear, right? So
actually, I have not spoken to Swami directly about it after that. Though 2005 and 6, Swami gave me the opportunity to be guest lecturer in the Sai's institution. Swami had a course called PG Diploma in Indian Culture and Philosophy. I was there for 10 days. And as a teacher, I was also allowed to sit in the veranda, and Swami used to sit and give darshan. So Swami is very close, coming close to me. He looked at me intently. But that, I mean, I never used to go and talk to Swami about things unless Swami asked me, whether in the group or individually. I'll not do it. So Swami did not talk about it to me directly. So I have not spoken to him about it. But one thing is, immediately after the accident, on that day, to the 15th of April 2001, somebody has informed Swami. That's what I came to know later. But to that person, when that person told that a major accident has happened on the way from Brindavan to Chennai, Swami has told, yes, I know, my boy is safe. This is the word Swami has told to that person. He is not from Chennai. He is from some other country, but he has mentioned it to one of our Veda group person, on Mr. Setharaman. That person, now after me coming back home, came and saw me, and he told me that this is what Swami has told. I know about the accident and my boy is safe. Number 2 is my nephew, eldest nephew, my sister's first son, who was doing MBA Parthi. So as soon as this accident had happened, Swami called him and given him vibhuti and told, go, give it to him. To him also, he said, my boy is safe. But there are 2 things. When he said, my boy is safe, he take it as me or his brother, because his younger brother, he has done become in Swami's college and doing MBA at that time here. And in that accident, he came out without any hurt. He had some bruises. That's all. Nothing has happened to him. He had major hurt with me, with my mother, with my father, but he was safe. In fact, there to see, Swami did not say anything personal, but look at the way. After when we left Brindavan, mother was sitting behind me. But at Kolar, mother told him to go to that side, and he had sat, and she had sat here. If only that boy had sat here, he would have gone. Because the main thing, the truck hurt from bruise, hitting the main side, it went to the rear. That's why it hit my mother. If that boy had been there, and now he's working, after MBA, he's working now. Hale Headley. That part, one thing. But then, we don't know, as you mentioned, karma. In fact, there too, I can mention 1985, I told you, we had an interview with Swami in Chennai. One day, about 8 of us from the 40 were available. Swami told us to wait, but people had left because they had to leave. We were shooed away. They said, you cannot be there. You can leave. Swami has gone to the restroom, but his bedroom and all. So we were told to leave, but then we stayed back. Evening, they got all the others to make them sit around and told Swami, these boys could not get the opportunity in the morning. So please do something. Swami just said, fate. He just showed like that and went off. So as you mentioned, fate, nothing can be done. We did not ask Swami. I didn't have the guts to ask Swami. Normally, I've been taught like that with my father. Unless Swami talks, we can't talk. That's what he has taught us. So because of that, but then he has taken care of me, and through these people, he has shown that he has saved his boy. That's what. That's what I know. But I don't know about that. Maybe she gave up her life for me and my. If it had happened to me, I would not be talking to you now. But maybe when that happens, some loss has to be there. That loss has gone with my mother, I think. My father also, in that case, was very, very lucky because ribs. That they said without any operation, anything, it can get cured, and it got cured. And is hale and healthy till 90 years. He accident took place when he was 65, something like that. But he passed one day when he was 90 in 2016. And that time my brother moved to Hyderabad High Court. My father also went with him from Chennai to Hyderabad. So he was there with them. But he had a natural death. He too had a natural death. But mother's case, as I said, I have no answer for that. And I didn't ask Swami about it personally. I mean, though I had the opportunity when that teaching, I could go there. But I didn't ask. Because as I said, Swami said karma. But I don't know what to answer for that. That's why I said it right in the beginning, as I gave a disclaimer, don't ask for my mother because I have no answer for that. Of course, one thing is the doctor the physiotherapist was mentioning, I told him, look, I'd completely forgotten everything, that particular. Then the physiotherapist mentioned one thing. Good that you've forgotten, because if you remember, the guilt feeling of your mother dying when you were driving will not allow you to recover. Now, doctor's part they've done, but it's now up to you to recover. But if that guilt feeling is there, you can't recover. So maybe because of that, God has made you forget. But definitely, before you die, you'll get that thought back again, he said. Maybe, I do not know. So I thought, then he said, please don't think about it because it will be affecting your life now. So as I said, I'm not selfish in that way, but I thought it's my duty to take forward from where we left. That's all. So as a result, I'm just keeping quiet. I don't know. Sorry. Somebody else was about to ask something.
Saram, thank you.
Sorry. Thank you, sir.
If there are no further questions, then let's see if there's something in the chat. I see there are some chat messages. Any questions? No. Okay. So no further questions. Then we will close by thanking Swami for this great opportunity. Thank you, Brother Chandru.
Thank you.
And we will close with 3 Samasta Loka, praying for the welfare of the whole universe. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Thank you everyone for being with us today. We pray to Swami to guide us to the next speaker, which will be a month later, and we will get in touch with you on who it is. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram all. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
So feel
Sai
free to
Ram.
join us, Brother Chandra, whenever you have.
Yes. Sure, definitely. Send us.
Sai Ram.
Thank you, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, uncle. Sai Ram. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.